I'm good. I like our, the behind the scenes discussions, which thank
Yes.
God our audience do not see, because if they will like us even more.
They would. I think maybe we're going to have to do some kind of bloopers or some kind of behind the scenes of Ashley and Olga at some point. They can see the preparation that goes into the survival of the broker.
How we discuss the topics and how we decide which going to be more ecologically relevant to the
Yes.
crowd, because we don't want to scare you away completely out of the industry.
You don't want to give the brutal truth just yet. Just easing them in, right?
Yeah, because the beauty of it that you're there to discover and potentially change it.
Yeah, correct. So how's your week been? How's the Monday started off for you?
I'm sure while you're going to be watching this video, you're not going to be able to go and rewatch my YouTube stories, Instagram stories, but I had a very interesting encounter today with creative thinking of what real estate can do to you. But I'm just going to keep it behind the scenes.
Oh, wow.
It was a good Monday.
Yeah. Okay.
Indeed. Productive. I am basically refurbishing all of my training sessions, doing the speaker notes and kind of putting it all together, understanding how much content do I have and how much I still have to produce. What about you?
Nice. And just quickly, I know that you're in the process of kind of giving Live It Up a facelift, right? So I think new to come.
Yes, the process of rebranding, meaning the brand that I have now, the logo, the Live It Up, been created by me. The colors being selected by me and approved by the audience, you as well. You're just like, oh, this one I like. Yeah. However, now I'm getting a professional help because at a certain level, you understand that the content matters a lot, but then it has to be packaged relevantly. Yeah, but you did it right. You package yourself, and now it's so unique and very organic with you. So I have to just go backward.
Go back to go forward. It's always good.
Yeah, because I believe that you actually should do the facelift for the brand, not for the face. Correct. Maybe every month. I mean, joking. Every year.
Every year at least.
Fresh, you see where you are with what you want to deliver, the value, because we don't do decisions, oh, I'm going to do this, right? Or I'm going into real estate and I'm going to only do the real estate as an agent. It could be so many different avenues that you can actually position your career in, right?
Correct. And I also think the fact that you're doing this now shows progression, right? Shows growth. So, you had the first season, which is the blue and the yellow colors, and it's all kind of fun and this and that. And I feel like now we're entering into the second season, but it's a bit more kind of
orange one.
yeah, exactly. A bit more kind of professional. I think it's kind of you've gone up a level, and it's really clear to see with the new branding that you're doing, with all the content that you're planning and putting out there. So I feel like it's going to be a really exciting year for Live It Up.
Thank you. Thank you. Your real estate COO. Excellent. Where that's how I'm not talking about you. You are your real estate COO.
Yeah, literally.
It's the kind of, how you say it? It's how you approach, how you call a certain level of authorities in the government here.
Nice. Good. Okay. So today, I think we're going to be talking.
Sorry, I'm just interrupting you.
What are we talking about today? I think we're talking about the day in a life.
The day in the life, something that the successful performing top agent will do with his schedule in a day. And I'm going to be focusing on the off plan, and you're going to be focusing on secondary. I was even thinking to create it in certain, this fitness influencers showing how they eat 3.5 calories a day, and then they still stay thin and with a six-pack. And then someone who has not got that far in the development of the muscle mass or trying to eat 3.5 calories and just like, oh, well, I became a little bit bigger than I expected. So we were going to try to do this, remove the, let's say, those kind of agents who are on that level already going to be able to do.
Yeah.
But make it really usable for someone who is just starting.
Correct. kind of like just break it right down. And I think that it's definitely important. I think there's so much to do in this job, especially in the secondary market. There is so much that you need to do. And I always say it's like spinning plates. You need to spin a lot of plates to kind of keep your business going and to keep it progressing. The minute one plate starts to fall, everything else starts to crumble around you. So if you don't keep those plates spinning, or have many plates spinning, then it just doesn't normally kick off. But it is kind of, as a new broker, it can be very overwhelming, to know what to do and what to focus on. But in reality, actually, it's really simple if you keep the simple formula.
And let me kind of cut you there, because you do have a colleagues in your team, and they love to have a coffee and the tea and potentially a little bit gossip about the new admin and the marketing and how the leads are bad. And there is so much conversation, and there is a smoking as well. We can go downstairs and have a smoke, like those type of things. And you just, as a new agent, you just think, okay, these guys, they sound really professional. Maybe I'm gonna get some value just hanging around them and just listening to what they say. What do you think about this?
I think it depends on the people. I mean, sometimes in some scenarios, this can be good, because you do want to, on the good side, you do want to be around people that are doing well. So I would always look on the board and see who is performing really well, and maybe do kind of be their shadow, and do go downstairs when they go downstairs for a break and listen to what they say and pick their brains and ask questions. But it's a double-edged sword, because you don't want to fall into the wrong group. The group that don't have the deals on the board, the group that has got no money on the board, and the ones that aren't doing too well, but they're still going for breaks, and they're still having lots of coffee, and they're still spreading the tea around the office. That's the group.
I'm just going to take a moment to put us on live, because live on YouTube now. Sorry, guys.
Oh yes, let everyone know. We kind of did this not impromptu, but we didn't kind of remind today, did we?
Yeah, because we just thinking that everyone has the right agenda. Okay.
So I do feel that. I think it depends on the group. So I think if you're in with the good group, the productive group, the ones that got money on the board, yes, go down, shadow them, be their shadow, like just stalk them, whatever you got to do. But like I said, the ones that aren't making the money, don't be following them. Don't be copying what they do, because clearly it's not working for them. So it's two sides for me.
So what's the first thing you believe that the broker should do in the morning?
For me, it's all about setting yourself up, right? So I've talked about this in a couple of the videos that I've put online in the last couple of weeks, I think. But for me, I mean, when I was a broker, I use myself as an example, I would always get into the office early. I still get into the office early now. I always have done. I'm in the office at 7:30. I get in the office an hour and a half before anyone else comes in. We start work at 9, but I like to get into the office at 7:30. I like to use that hour before anyone comes in just to set myself up. Okay, so figure out what I want to achieve from that day. Maybe I want to set myself some targets if I'm a broker of what I want to achieve, calls, listings, viewings, and then I'd write them at the top of my diary. I'd then go through my follow-up list to figure out who I need to be contacting that day with potential properties maybe coming back on the market. Maybe even look in Property Finder. I used to have Property Finder alerts set up on my email. So every morning, I think mine was like 8 o'clock in the morning, I'd get emailed with all the new listings that come on in my community. I would then scan through this list to see if there's any properties I recognize. Maybe I've been in contact with those owners, so I can try and reconnect with them. Or if I don't know the properties, then actively try and get them. That would be maybe through touting or going to drive around the community, seeing if I can pick out that property and get the address. So I'd use that morning prior to anyone coming in to really set myself up for the day. Once obviously the mornings happen, morning meetings, caught up with my manager, my colleagues, I would then maybe contact my viewings from the day before. Try and push some offers out of them. Okay, so I showed you 3 properties yesterday. This was the feedback. You've had time to think about it overnight. What are we doing? If I'm not able to get an offer out of them because the properties weren't quite right, I need to understand why. So what did I get wrong? Okay, so you told me you're looking for X, Y, Z. I feel like I gave that to you, but clearly something's missing. So maybe I need to requalify them. and then go back to the drawing board and get them back out again, maybe later that day or the next day. So always follow up with my clients. Then give your owners a call, give them the feedback from the day before. So you're reconnecting with them. If you've got viewings on those properties every day, you should be in contact with those owners every day, giving them feedback. I always say the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? Because when you do get an offer with that property, maybe it's not quite what the landlord's wanting, but because you've been giving him feedback for the last week or two, he knows how many viewings you've had. He knows that you've had really low offers. So he'll be like, you know what, Olga, it's the best offer we've had. Get me the deposit today and we can close the deal. As opposed to not contacting that landlord for 2 weeks and then giving him a call with a really low offer. He'll be like, sorry, who are you? No, phone's gone down.
Exactly.
Right. So it's keeping in contact with those owners every single day so they know what you're doing and what effort you're putting in. After that's been done, it's going to be your leads, your new leads, contacting all your new leads from overnight, anything that's come in from property finder portals, qualify them, get them booked in and get them out as soon as possible. Once you've done that, it's then onto the database. So hopefully all this you can do before lunch. So that's going to be probably 100 calls right there with your database, your follow-ups, all the stuff that we discussed. That's going to be a lot of calls that you're doing. So the idea is that the morning you're using to generate your business. So that leaves the afternoon for you to go out, do your viewings, meet your clients, meet your landlords, take your pictures, close your deals. Okay, there's no stress then because hopefully you've hit those KPIs before you leave the office at lunch or 1 o'clock. So that's really what any top performer will be looking at doing in the secondary market, is using that morning to set themselves up. And then the afternoon, they're out and about. And that's the formula that seems to work for most.
Yeah. We have a question. Let's just answer the question and then we're going to continue with the off-plan schedule. So I'm not really, I can read the name.
Is that Adam?
Maybe Adam again. Adam Zidane.
Or cold calling. So which way work real estate agents in Dubai, outbound or cold calling? So I'm guessing which one works best?
Outbound and cold calling is basically the same thing, just for us to understand, because inbound is when the client is calling you because or submitting his inquiry because he's seen some certain ad, I don't know, board or social media ad or property finder, and he clicked on the WhatsApp or whatever, send the email. And cold calling is where you have a database of, let's say, potential owners, because you don't know, are they still owners, if they sold the property, and then you're calling them.
Correct.
So it depends. I would say, but my answer is secondary market is probably 70% of the cold calling on the database of the potential owners to find the listings, to find the property to sell. And off-plan is probably 50% cold calling. Why I'm saying a cold calling? Because you're going to be giving a fresh lead to someone who inbound himself. However, for you to be able to generate enough business, you have to go and call through the old inquiries, which is effectively a cold call.
Cold calling.
Meaning they haven't requested anything recently. They're not expecting your call. You're the number 25 who is calling them. So what do you think?
I agree. I think that secondary, especially at the beginning, as we always say, it's all about the cold calling from the data sheet. Essentially, what you're doing is you're using that data sheet to cleanse it and clean it. And then you're adding all the authentic data to your CRM system. Hopefully in time, if you become a specialist in that location, you won't need to use the data sheet because it's all on your CRM system. So after a year, 2 years, whatever it's going to be, most of your data will be ring fenced to you. And hopefully you've bought and sold in that community. So you're getting the data updating all the time. So you won't need to use the data sheets as much. But the first part or the first year, definitely 70% you're going to be looking at doing that. And I agree with the off-plan side as well.
And I would say it's not about real estate altogether. Sales jobs in literally any industry, this is the outreach and lead generation. Majority of them, the higher you pay, the more cold outreach you'll have to do yourself.
Yes.
The lower you pay, the lower percentage of the commission that you will get in on a deal. That means that the leads are coming to you.
Correct.
But if you want really to build your business and being able to know how to talk to people, I don't know anything better than a cold calling. We did in our life a fair cut of that.
Yeah, it's true though, isn't it? Because I feel like, again, the cold calling, this builds confidence, it builds momentum, it builds it builds all those things. It's the foundation to your business, and the more you do something, the better you're going to get at it. So you'll be able to pitch exclusivity or whatever it's going to be to your owners because you've been doing it so long.
Yeah, so that's the answer. Let's go back to the off plan.
Yes.
I'm going to go even deeper into the schedule. If you want to become, I mean, what's the difference between the secondary and off plan in terms of, fundamentals for me is that the secondary market agent, he has a product. The actual product can sell itself.
Yes.
Right? Because
you can feel it. You can go around it.
Exactly. For the off plan, there is nothing. There is just you and your communication skills. And they have to be not you presenting and talking nonsense like fluffy words, you being able to extract what the client needs and represent the product that you have. So he will feel that, oh my God, that's exactly what I've been looking for. So for you to have such a sharpness, you have to start and finish your day right. That's important. And I was not only, I was not doing that right all the time when I was in my active sales career. What does it mean? No late nights, in bed by 10.
10.
Having a good night's sleep, because I don't know about someone who is maybe 20 doesn't have that problem, but I don't think you can talk much as well, much sense, right? But someone who is, let's say, approaching 30, if you had a big night and you had a couple of drinks, then next morning for you, you're just like zoning out. You can forget about any money-making activities altogether, because all you think is like which junk I can eat and how I can get myself out of the office to pretend I'm going to meet someone and just to go sleep. So you have to understand what shiny culture of Dubai going to provoke you to go and spend money, to go and have all of this ladies' night and boys' night and this event and this DG. But realistically, 10 o'clock, you have to be in bed, like in bed. Your phone is sleeping in the other room, or it's airplane mode and you just promise you don't touch it. Then the morning you're waking up early and realistically the same as we do, right? You're going to hit the gym.
Or some kind of movement, right?
List 30 minutes to get your adrenaline, cortisol, and endorphins up, because you're going to have a very difficult day. Then I was always dividing the day into my money-making activities, and I was all very honest with myself. What is my money-making activities, and what is my admin activities, right? And what is my big, let's say, hairy problem, like Harmozy is using this terminology, which I have to solve today. What I'm avoiding, what I don't want to start. And I'm going to look at my money-making activities, the hairy problem that I have. What is the money-making activities? Is me generating leads or me servicing leads? So that's my number one priority. So that means if I'm calling through the age leads, I will divide my day into the morning call-outs and the evening call-outs, depending on the location, times, and what is working better for me in terms of I had a better pickup rate. I'm going to write down all of my statistics. I'm not just going to randomly call a random list of people. I structure it and prepare the list in advance. So when I'm sitting on my call blocks, I just print out the list. It's in front of me. I put the timer on my laptop. I have the list here, and I'm calling and writing down my notes without stopping and executing any of what I just promised to the client. That's going to happen after my call out. So this is my money-making activities, and I'm very clear with that. And then it's going to be maybe additional money-making activities, which I would say now creating the content, right? Because if you're an offline agent,
yes,
maybe less than the secondary, you have to start building your personal brand. And when I'm saying content, it's not like a funny videos of you talking how great the project is, walking around the sales center, pointing on the building. probably sit down with some data, analyze different areas. For example, if that's the beginning of 2006, create a small self-explanatory report on the areas that you've been focusing on, showing the increase or decrease, explaining why villas are giving higher price appreciations than the apartments, but the apartments are giving high rental yield. So do the content creation which is giving value. And then, of course, servicing your clients. I would allocate myself 2 days a week where actively learning new projects. So I'm going to developer's office, but purposefully. I'm not just going to hang around there, just like, hey, Ashley, here's a good coffee today. I haven't had breakfast in 2 days. So I'm back here just to have a free croissant. No, go there, you study, you understand the cross-selling opportunities. You kind of, I don't want to say inspect the project as a client, but you question the relationship manager of the developer in a way that the client will question you. You got everything, you put everything on the Excel file because you're not going to remember much, but you now generating, I know it's boring, but you kind of own data sheet of the projects. So whenever you will need that, you can go back. And can you imagine after 2 years, you still have the same project sheet? You know the prices, you know what those are pros and cons of the area, you know everything. This data might be lost in your mind, but it's still there. So that's the schedule that I preach.
And I think it's good. And I think, you know, even down to the getting up early, I think definitely anyone, and even going to bed, I think in this job, to do this job hungover is a nightmare.
Nightmare without
exactly. Without the hangover, it's a nightmare. But with a hangover, Jesus, I remember those days. And it's just not even worth it because you're going to be off your game, and to deal with people, to make the calls, to do all the things you got to do, to have that energy to do it, it's not going to happen. And it's keep that for the weekend or when you're not working for sure. But to have that structure, to get yourself up early in the morning, to get yourself to the gym. I know we talked about this before, but fitness has been a huge thing for us over the last kind of 18 months. And it's really completely, I'm not just saying this, guys, but completely changed my mindset with everything, with work, with my personal life, with everything. But it really, really helps set your mind right. And all my ideas come when I'm in the gym in the morning. I have my notes open and I write stuff down, and I think about all these amazing things I want to do from the real estate CEO or the company I'm running. That's where your brains are so active. So get yourself, even if you're walking, like you sometimes walk around the lake in the morning, right? Get yourself out in the sunshine. Love it. That's even better because you're out in the sun and it wakes your body up. So you get ready for the day. So it's definitely something you want to consider if you're not doing. Just try it once. See how you get on. Let us know. But it's definitely something you want to do. Also with my guys, so my guys have access to like a daily planner.
Okay.
And this pretty much highlights or sets up their day. So the first half of the day, it's all about, you know, the follow-ups, the content planning, all the stuff they need to focus on, the leads, landlord feedback. It's literally listed and they can tick it off. And then they've got a little section for what they're focusing on for the day. So what clients they're focusing on. Maybe they've got a couple of hot clients. What are they looking for? So just a bit of a reminder. It's got then their hot properties and then any offers that they're working on. So they can then basically plan out their day. They know what they've got to achieve. So literally, I'm kind of spoon feeding it for the brokers to make sure they get the most out of their day. But I feel like it's something good just while you're new to get yourself into the rhythm of it, to have that go-to checklist. So I've literally created that a few months ago, which the new guys are starting to use.
So if you kind of want to have that, just pop in the comment.
Yes.
Ashley somehow will
get
into the package, and we're going to add it as well in the comment. But if you don't need it, if you already know what to do, then
correct. And even we can do like a schedule, right? We can give you our schedule in terms of what you should maybe focus on day by day, because my guys focus on different things. Like they have call outs certain days. They might have a call out in the morning, call out in the evening. They do certain things every single day. So if you guys want the schedule and the daily planner, let us know. We'll send it.
I know we don't have much time, but I want to actually ask you, because what I see in my coaching, and I now working with a smaller agency. So kind of helping them from the start to build up the sales process, to understand how to align the CRM system with the sales process, because like now agents are randomly putting some data in, and then you cannot like understand where we stand with those leads. They're mainly offline focused, and as a part of the consultancy, I asked them to create the Google Excel file with all of the clients, the active clients, the hot clients that they have now, with the stages. I asked them a couple of questions. So what I realized reading that is, first of all, agents, they themselves don't know how to calculate return on investment. That's, for me, it's just like the simplest thing to do. It's kind of no-brainer, but they don't know how to do that. They don't know how to present it to the client. As Marks, they know how to calculate rental yield, but they call it return on investment. That's why everyone is saying 8 to 7%, which is actually just the rental yield, basically return, where you get the cash from your income, rental income. And sometimes they say, yeah, but I've got a different way of calculating return on investment. I had a conversation today. I was like, oh, which one is it? That girl showed me, and that was about the occupancy rate. And she calculated based on occupancy rate of 80%. And this agent, she's new. She's been on the market maybe 5 months. And I was like, yeah, but occupancy rate is only applicable if we're talking about short-term rentals.
Yeah.
She's like, really? And guys, so if you don't know this, dig deeper with even ChatGPT. He will explain you how to calculate it. Just find the I don't know, the ways to learn. And now it's so many, right?
There's even these ROI calculators if you don't know. So, you know, again, that will help you out. So you can input all the information and it will spit back to you.
But again, I think you have to understand the logic. The logic is simple, because what the client would expect from you to pay you a commission, but he's not paying you commission because you're just there and you need the money. He would expect from you to take a pen and a paper and being able, okay, so that's how, just like, okay, so in 10 years, it's going to be roughly this. Then we're going to add a price appreciation on that. Then they're going to divide it on the amount of years you're going to be keeping the property. So on average, you will have 25% total, like all ROI, return on investment, and rental yield.
Yeah, correct.
That's the minimum expectations that should be met by the agent.
Right. I do feel like, again, we're actually doing this session tomorrow. So in the group that we have this week, so we've got 3 guys this week, and they're going to be going for those things tomorrow, which is good. So it's definitely beneficial to have, because that's going to set you apart from most other brokers, because they don't take the time to do that. But it shows also your knowledge and your skill within the market, and it's going to build trust with that seller or with the buyer or whoever, because you're able to have that conversation at that type of level with them. So I think it's super important to do that.
And coming back to that file that I've been going through, and again, that one of the reasons why I started training and coaching agents, because I felt there is so many opportunities are missed by the clients because of the agent are not able to sell, they're not able to actually execute the simple process. That rather than not knowing how to calculate, the other big question, specifically in an off-plan, let's say, sales, is that agents, they don't really know or understand anything about the product, meaning not a developer, they don't know what to offer, they have no idea what new upcoming project, they don't know which areas. So that alone is a big piece. As if you don't know those things, regardless how good are the leads, they're not going to buy from you.
That's the thing. I think you're literally selling sand, aren't you? So if you're not able to understand the projects that you've been assigned to, or that your company is selling, then you're not going to win, right? Because these people need to part with the money on a product that's not even there yet. So they need to feel confident and comfortable with you pitching and selling them this product. So they're going to ask you so many different questions, and they need to feel like, okay, this person, I get it, I trust him. Okay, here's whatever I need to pay. If you're not able to do that, or you don't sound confident, or you're missing out bits of information, or maybe they know more than you, maybe they've done their research and they're testing you, which is sometimes the case, then again,
Exactly. And how is that they know more than you?
Yeah.
Because you're here on the ground and they're over there. How is
Right.
that even possible?
It really is. So I think it's for off planner, I think it's definitely a hard gig, because you really have to know your stuff, down to the numbers and everything else that goes with it, because there's nothing for you to touch. You can't go and touch the wall, and it's one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are we expose ourselves enough for today?
So.
Are we gonna let everyone stay?
Yeah. I think that's a good one. Short and sweet and down and dirty. I think it's hopefully given some value in terms of the structure, but we can't emphasize this enough. Structure in this job is everything. And, there's, like we said, there's so many things to do and not enough time. So to give yourself a proper structure and plan your weeks, I did a video on this a couple of weeks ago again. I would start the week on the Sunday. So start that planning on a Sunday. Even like we do, we plan our content on the Sunday, and we know what we're going to be doing and posting for the week ahead. And it's so important to do that. Some of my brokers start on the Saturday. They make their calls to their sellers and landlords on the Saturday, doing the price reductions and giving feedback. And so on Monday, that job's done. That frees up more time. So it's just making sure you get out what you need from this job, because there's always going to be something, somebody to call, somebody to chase. But if you're not organized, you're going to miss opportunities. So that starts with, your follow-ups, your CRM system, updating that, and even your calendar. I even put all my stuff now in my calendar. So I plan my weeks on the Sunday. I plan my week. And if you see my calendar, my work calendar, it's got everything in there because it pings on my phone, even down to me waking up in the morning, going to the gym, taking the boys for a walk, my breaks, my lunch, my free time, and I just need a bit of time to myself to think. Like, everything's in there. So I'm down to the minute detail now. So my whole life is mapped out, not just for the week, but for the weekends as well. So I think it's super, super important that you guys do that as well. And it will help you to know what you need out of your day and your week.
Perfect. We have one more last question. What should be your first KPI to keep in mind for the first month in job?
So for secondary, keep it simple. It's all about your calls, okay? Set yourself a calling target, because the calls obviously will generate yourself, hopefully, opportunities with listings. If you're not making enough calls, you're going to delay the rest of the process. So set yourself, I would do a call target, so calling target, a database target. So we talked about this before. Database is your prospects, your future business. So out of your 100 phone calls that you're making in a day, for example, you've got to add 5 of those calls to your CRM system. These should be landlords or owners that confirm they own the property, but maybe the property's rented or they're living in it. So it's going to be your future business. You're going to thank yourself in 6 months, 8 months, a year's time, when you're coming into the office and you've got all these follow-ups from all the calls that you've added, or all the calls that you did now. So set yourself a call target, a database target, and a listing target. They're the 3 things you want to focus on at the beginning, because that then leads on to leads, viewings, offers, and deals.
And I would say if you are starting with the off plan, then your first 2 weeks for sure, you will not get any leads. Then you potentially will start receiving old leads, meaning leads inquired some time ago, potentially might still be looking, might not look. But what I would do is that you have so much to learn, and your focus is, instead of, like a secondary, it's going to be like one area with 20 buildings, right? You on an offline going to be focusing on a certain price tag, right? Which can, for example, go with Dubai Creek Harbor, Dubai Island, Maritime City, like all of this. And in Dubai Island itself, at this point, there are 250 different projects. So that means that you have to allocate yourself structured. Of course, you got to sit with your manager. Ideally, he will give you the structure of which offices of developers you have to visit, how you then learn it. And for yourself, you, after each and every visit, you either do a small presentation, couple of PPT slides, or at least do some notes, reusable notes. Yeah, not like this ones, like a proper notes. This way, after you heard the information, you rehearse it one more time, then you putting it on paper.
Yeah.
This is how you learn, because the first call you're going to have with the potential buyer, you will have to talk about the project at least a bit. So there is no point for you to do the call outs if you have no idea about anything. What are you going to do? You have nothing to say. You don't have you don't have a building yet to sell.
Right. So true. I'd even go down the lines. I was talking about this today in the training with them, with the new guys that we have on board. Role plays, right? Doesn't have to be in the office. You can be at home if you've got a partner or a roommate. I used to do role plays with my roommate at the time. He wasn't in real estate, but I was, and he knew that I just obviously started the job I started at, and we'd be making dinner in the evenings, and he'll just break out into role play, like, right, let's go, come on, let's go. I'm like, okay. Then he'll be a landlord, and I'd have to be the broker. And we did this so many times, and I then obviously it helped me massively. Although I knew real estate back in the UK, but here it's very foreign. So for me to practice getting exclusivity, practice at just pitching to landlords, this gave me so much confidence, and it really, really helped me. So, do that at home with your flatmate or your partner. Practice
with anyone on a video call.
Right, literally anyone. But I think that's going to, especially for off plan as well, to get to perfect your pitch or know the flow of your conversation. And as Olga's saying, get yourself maybe a little PowerPoint that you can put up on the screen and you can go through it with them. And I think this is what you've got to do to get ahead.
Because majority of people are just waiting for the lead
to
buy, and which unfortunately is not happening that often in the current market. By the way, have you seen the Property Monitor report? For 2025, they already released it. Nice. I think in December, the prices were starting to come down.
Nice. Well, we're going to, I actually need to send you the invitation. We're going to their breakfast event in a couple of weeks. So that'd be quite interesting to go there, because they're going to be going through all that kind of stuff as well.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Okay. Should we call it a night?
We should, yeah. I think that's good. Nearly 40 minutes. I think that's good. As always, guys, this is for you, and I hope that we bring you value each week. If you take just one thing away from the conversations that we have, we know we're doing our job. If you have anything that you want us to cover, as always, you can send us a message via here or social media, wherever you're following us, and we'll do our best to incorporate that within our episodes. But we'll leave it there. Hopefully everyone's had a good day, and have a very productive, prosperous week. Close those deals, make your money, and do all the good things in between.
Yeah, and we still have 11 and a half months almost to make the first million in Dubai real estate.
Yes, we have. And we're here to
help. Going to do it. Are they going to do it this year again or no?
We've got to do it this year, because we're here now helping them.
Yeah. Okay, guys. See you next Monday.